back garden. Right here, I have all my plots set out. It's about where I'm going to be putting all the bananas for to fill the actual use of what we made, the banana circle. So we're going to have all of our bananas at the highest points. As you can see, we put the lemongrass just slightly inside, so it's going to have a little bit more of that moisture. It tolerates that consistent moisture a little bit better in the root zone than, let's say, the bananas. That's why we put them just a little bit further out, so that way they're not necessarily going to get all the root rot as if they were to be closer to that mulch pile that we're going to be primarily watering, as well as giving a good misting to the rest of them during the summer and whatnot. So we have our apple banana, we have our praying hands banana, and our blue java. So I have a Raj Puri that hasn't quite started to show new growth, so I'm going to wait to put that in the ground until it's showing that. Alright, so once again, we're going to pre-treat the hole with the fish fertilizer, humic acid, as well as the seaweed plant food. The fish fertilizer mainly for that nitrogen, as well as to stir up some of that microbial growth. We do have the compost pile that's in the center of the banana circle, which is going to be doing great, but I want to draw some of those microbes over and out, and so that way they could start, interacting with the plant, and actually, it's their waste that actually go the plant the nutrients that they can actually absorb, rather than just blasting straight fertilizers at it that just give it the plant what it needs right now, but it's also salting your soil. And so again, we have the dog chewed bottle of fish fertilizer. We should do a splash of that. And the bananas can handle a lot more nitrogen. They're a lot more of a hungry plant. However, we still don't want to be adding too much whenever you're first planting them, because then you do have the issue of shocking it and stunning it, and you could actually kill it by giving it too much of what it needs. Same thing with water. You could develop those root rot nematodes whenever you're overwatering it. You care about the plant so much, but you gotta have the plant tell you what it needs, and not overwater. I ran into that issue previously whenever it was a very hot summer. I planted a blue java over by the palm tree. Maybe it was just a sickly plant and I picked the wrong one, but also because it was so hot, I had the conception, that my wife and I should water the plant multiple times a day. I watered in the morning, my wife watered in the afternoon, and then I watered once again in the evening, even though that we had really good mulch soil. And so I think that's what killed it. So it ended up turning almost like a rust color, and then it started shriveling, and we lost our plant. Now to add water. Just as a side note, another thing that you want to do is also make sure that the nutrients that you're applying are available to the plant's roots. So a big component of that is the mycorrhizal fungi. As I was building the compost pile, I did put some in there. It was mycos, mycorrhizal fungi. So what that does need is a plant's living tissue in order to flourish and actually give that plant nutrients. So I've already pre-bedded it in the compost pile, and then right before the big summer heat hits, I'm actually going to be applying some to the top of the soil and kind of folding it in with my hands, just so that way I'm making sure that before we get those big hot summer suns out here in Yuma, Arizona, that we could actually give it that little bit of extra boost, just by giving a little bit more of those, plant friends for the roots. So, but I'm gonna do a quick time lapse of me putting the banana plants in, filling it in, and then also remulching. And the benefit of having my kind of mulch compost pile on top is that I can actually pull from that and go ahead and mulch around the plants a lot better than having to go and grab it from my front yard. That's still a work in progress. Another thing we have to add out here in Arizona, because our soil is so alkaline, some sort of soil acidifier or elemental sulfur. The reason why is because a lot of the tropicals can't necessarily tap into the nutrients unless it's at maybe like anywhere between a 5 to 7 pH, and usually we're sitting at about 8 more or less, depends on what the soil's like. And some plants, even like blueberries, require even lower pH. But we like to just lower it, and this is a nice slow release, so that way we know that they're going to be able to tap into all the nutrients like the iron and everything that's actually in the ground that's in all the decayed material that we put down.